first home buyers is in terms of financing, we actually have access to Keystart. So has anybody here heard of Keystart and what they do? A few of you? Awesome. All right, so Keystart basically is like a government-based loan as opposed to a loan directly through the banks. All right, which might sound scary, but it's not. You still have 100% ownership of your home. It's no different to getting a standard home loan, and we're lucky enough it's only available in WA. Okay? So what Keystart do is they want to make it as easy as possible for you guys to get started. So the first thing is that for a first home buyer looking at building your first home, you only need a 1% deposit. Look at that. Beautiful. Which is about normally around $3,000 to $4,000. That's all you're going to need up front. So a lot of the time when I'm speaking to first home buyers, they think that you need 20, 25 grand and they've been saving for ages to get this deposit together. You don't need to. You only need that 3 or 4 grand. Okay? The other huge bonus of Keystart is you don't have to pay any stamp duty, okay? And you don't have to pay any lender's mortgage insurance either. So lender's mortgage insurance, if you were to get a loan through a bank, you basically pay them extra in case you mess up. Very simply put is how that works. With Keystart, they don't charge you anything. All we need is this, that $3,000 to $4,000 up front, and you can actually get started. A big thing that Keystart do is throughout construction, it's called a construction timeline. It takes us about 5 to 7 months from slab down to handover to build your home. With Keystart, you only have to make repayments of $50 a week throughout that construction stage, which is awesome. All right, because a lot of you might be paying rent of $350, $400 a week, whatever the case may be. So just to know that throughout construction, you only have to pay another $50. It just means that you can afford your rent comfortably and make repayments throughout construction. So it's nice and easy. All right, with the banks, what they normally do is they actually charge you a certain percentage at each stage of construction, and it builds up towards the end to a point where you're nearly paying your full mortgage and your rent at the same time, and you start drowning in repayments, and it can be a little bit difficult. Okay, so Keystart make that nice and easy. The $50 a week is a minimum. Okay, if you can pay more, we would recommend it. Anything you don't pay will just sort of roll over into the loan at the end. But if you're tight one week, if a heap of bills have come up all of a sudden, which happens to all of us, you just put down $50 and you know that you're going to be okay. Now, there is one slight, I suppose, downside of Keystart. Can't all be rainbows and unicorns. The slight downside is that the interest rate is a little bit higher. So Keystart's interest rate right now is 5.34%, whereas the banks, they're operating around probably 4%, some banks less, some banks a little bit more, so that's a bit of a safe figure. So the other important thing to know, guys, is that, so I'd say 90% of first home buyers go through Keystart, okay, because it's so easy to get started, all right? Most first home buyers don't have a huge amount of savings behind you, okay? So most people will go through Keystart because it's so easy, and that is all you need to actually get started, okay? But the important thing to know is that you will not be paying this rate forever, all right? What we would want to do as soon as possible is actually refinance to a bank. So we take that loan to a bank, therefore drop in your repayments, all right? Now, we don't know exactly how long it will take before you can do that. It's just based off of how much equity you get in your property. So that comes down to what home we build, where we build it, all those other things come into play at that point. But as a general idea, we'd probably allow 24 months. All right, so what we need to make sure is that if this is something that we look at doing for you, if we do actually look at getting you into your own home, we need to make sure that you can afford the higher interest rate for, let's say, the first 2 years, okay? We would not want to put you into a home that you're not 100% comfortable on those repayments, first and foremost. Because then we know if you're comfortable paying that higher rate, by the time we do get you into a position where we can refinance, you're just going to be cruising along. It's going to be really easy for you. Basically, from an overview of Keystart, that is how we help 90% of our clients. Okay, and it genuinely is that easy to get started. All right, so there's no other hidden costs or fees involved in this. If you guys, even if right now you had $1,000, $2,000 in the bank in your savings, we could start something now for you. All right, because the way the finance terms work is if you're signing up on a house and land package, we actually get 90 days for finance. Within that time, we would expect you to be able to save the remainder of the deposit. All right, so if you're sitting around that kind of amount in terms of savings right now, which a lot of our first home buyers are, you really could start looking at options now. Okay.